Okay. Let us start with 3 Omkars and prayer first. Please sit straight, adopt Dhyana Mudra, chin parallel to the ground, shoulders roll back. Gently close your eyes. Focus on your breathing. 3 Omkars together. Breathe in. Out. 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 Please join your palms. योगेन चित्तस्य पदेन वाचा मलं शरीरस्य च वैद्यकेन योपाकरोत्तं प्रवरं मुनीनां पतञ्जलिं प्राञ्जलिरानतोऽस्मि आबाहुपुरुषाकारं शङ्खचक्रासिधारिणं सहस्रशिरसं श्वेतं प्रणमामि पतञ्जलिम्. हरि ओम. Today's our topic is circulatory system. Circulatory system is related with circulation of blood in our body. Each and every cell, when it gets oxygenated blood, it can carry all metabolic functions, like our mitochondria needs oxygen, that we saw in our last session. So components of the circulatory system are blood, heart, blood vessels like arteries, veins, capillaries, and lymphatic system. So we will go through each of them, but not in detail. Okay, so first component is blood. What is blood? Blood is a fluid connective tissue. That now types of tissue we all know. So it is connective tissue, but it is all over in our body, and it is around 5 to 6 liters in males and 4 to 5 liters in females. It is slightly alkaline with a pH of 7.4. Alkaline means when carbon dioxide increases in our blood, it becomes acidic. So it depends on levels of carbon dioxide in our blood. So its color varies from bright to dark red. It has salty metallic taste, and it is considered as fluid of our life. Components of blood. Now, if you will see blood in lab, when they collect blood for blood investigations, it looks like this. And okay. So this part, red part, thick part is looking like this because of there is saturation of red blood cells. And this part, which you can see yellowish in color, it is called as plasma. So two separate layers of fluids we can see when they take blood in the lab for blood investigation in glass PPT. So plasma is made up of salts, minerals, water, and proteins. And blood is made up of red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets. Right? So this is just components of blood. So plasma contains amino acids, nutrients, proteins, nitrogenous waste. No need to memorize everything. Just you need to know that there is 5 to 6 liters of blood in our body, and components of blood, plasma, and blood cells. Then blood cells, types of blood cells. You can see here leukocytes, platelets and erythrocytes. This is medical term because leukocyte is also called as white blood cells. Platelets, they are called as thrombocytes, and erythrocytes are red blood cells. Okay. Now, leukocytes or white blood cells are divided into, again, neutrophils, basophils, eosinophils, lymphocytes, monocytes. Whenever you get done blood investigation, just read that report. Try to read. So all these terminologies, terms are there. You will see neutrophils, this count, basophil, this count. So this is all types of leukocytes, which is our fighting system. Immunity or leukocytes, they are known as fighter cells. They fight against viruses, bacteria in our body. Like that, platelets, they are responsible for clotting of blood. In dengue, when platelet count goes down, what happens? Blood clotting factor, and it affects it, and then we need to give platelets to that patient. And it is very common nowadays. So that is platelet or thrombocyte, which is responsible for clotting of our blood. And erythrocytes, red blood cells, they carry oxygen molecule towards the cells. First type, red blood cells and hemoglobin. So red blood cells, they have this heme plus globin, means iron plus protein combination, which is called as hemoglobin. And it has affinity to oxygen molecule, or oxygen molecule gets attracted towards it. So when blood gets oxygenated, that means this hemoglobin carries this oxygen molecule. And red blood cells, they take this oxygen molecule and it circulates all over the body. That is the function of hemoglobin. You can see function of hemoglobin is to carry oxygen molecule, and hemoglobin is present in red blood cells. Is it clear? Okay. RBCs are also called as erythrocytes. They are 4 to 6 billion in 1 ml of blood. Production in red bone marrow. Lifespan 120 days. Functions, as I had mentioned, oxygenated blood to carry all over the transport of oxygen with the help of protein called hemoglobin found in RBC. Mukherjee. Just please give me 1 minute. I will answer this call first. Just a minute. हेलो. हाँ, एक okay. Okay. So this is the main function of RBCs. Now, white blood cells. As we saw, there are types of white blood cells. And white blood cells defend the body against infection and disease. So granulocytes, 3 types of granulocytes, means neutrophil, eosinophil, basophil. Now, no need to memorize everything. Okay, white blood cells related with defense. That is also sufficient to understand. And they are produced in the bone marrow and circulate in the bloodstream, identifying and destroying harmful pathogens like viruses and bacteria. Production in red bone marrow, normal count 4,500 to 11,000 WBCs per microliter of blood. Lifespan is less than RBCs. It is only 12 hours to 12 days actually. all five types of white blood cells and their functions or elevated levels may indicate bacterial. Now, if we see that report, if neutrophils are elevated, you can then say that yes, bacterial infection or stress is because of that it is elevated. Then lymphocytes because of cough or viral infections, monocytes because we know they are defense mechanism. Whenever there is bacterial and viral infection happening inside our body, they are going to elevate and they are going to fight. So accordingly, we get results. Thrombocytes or platelets related with responsible for blood clotting or coagulation of blood. Colorless disc-shaped cells without nucleus, smaller in size, lifespan 3 to 7 days, produced in bone marrow. Bone marrow is very important part of our bones. You already saw red, white and thrombocytes, red blood cells, white blood cells and thrombocytes are getting produced. Number is 1,50,000 to 4,50,000 platelets per microliter of blood. In case of dengue, they reduce till 20,000, 30,000, and then we need to go for platelet transfusion. Functions, vital role in clotting of blood. So there are some factors related with clotting of blood. Fibrin and fibrinogen, if you are familiar with this word or not familiar, then also it is okay. But two factors are there and that is present in blood and that is responsible for blood clotting, and platelets are also there to help that whole mechanism. Now, blood vessels. Component of blood, we already saw plasma and blood cells. Plasma is, it contains protein, water, salts, all that material, and blood cells, RBCs, WBCs, and platelets. That's it. Now, blood vessels, artery, vein, and capillary. There are three types of blood vessels. They carry blood to all over the body, in all over the body. Artery, we know that artery is related with oxygenated blood. That pure blood, arteries supply pure blood to the cells. Veins, they bring impure blood or deoxygenated blood. We use this term only. We don't use pure, impure blood. We use oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. So deoxygenated blood from all over the body, from tissues, from cells, and it carries or drains it into the heart. And capillaries are branching and small branching of arteries and veins. So you can see in this diagram, capillaries are bifurcated and their branches are there, small branches, and those are called as capillaries.
Expanded diagram, madam. Heart. Make it to 110%. Yeah, doctor. Make it still more. Yeah, still more.
Just a minute.
Still more, madam.
Yeah, doing it.
Drag it on the left hand side. On the right side, sorry. Yeah.
So heart looks like this.
Madam will make it very simple. Don't worry. Don't take tension. It's very simple. Once you know the concept, it's very simple.
First of all, we will see this is heart, how it looks like. Then just general information about heart, we will see it, and then we will go for this diagram. Heart is a four-chambered muscular organ. What is heart? Heart is muscular organ. As we know, cardiac muscles, we already saw types of muscles, voluntary, involuntary, and so cardiac muscles, specialized types of muscle, and heart is made up of cardiac muscles. comparable to the size of a closed fist. Closed fist. Located in the midline of the thoracic cavity, means this chest bone is there. Behind that chest bone, this is midline of the thoracic cavity. Behind that, this chest bone is called as sternum. So between second and sixth rib, it is located between T5 to T8. We saw thoracic cage and second and sixth rib anteriorly, and thoracic vertebra posteriorly, T5 to T8. That is the location of heart. Apex and base of heart. Apex is located at the fifth intercostal space. So apex is downwards and it is located in the fourth and fifth, you can say between intercostal space. And it is 300 grams size of a fist. That is simple anatomy and location of heart. Now we will go to this diagram again. Just let me check if more clear. When we take section of heart to understand what is there inside the heart. So heart is again, we can see here there are 4 compartments. If we take section, if we cut heart like this, sagittal section, and we open it, then we can see this 4 chambers of heart, upper 2 and lower 2 chambers. Upper 2 chambers are called as right atrium. Right-sided chamber is called as right atrium. Left-sided is called as left atrium or auricle. Atrium or auricle. Then below right atrium, there is right ventricle. And below left atrium, there is left ventricle. So heart contains 4 chambers. There are 4 chambers, you can see. Now, in the right side, right atrium and right ventricle contains deoxygenated blood always. And on the left side, there is oxygenated blood. Because we know how blood gets oxygenated. First, it comes to heart. And what is the function of heart? It passes it towards the lungs. Then lungs are having oxygen molecule. Then they transport this molecule into blood. And again, lungs, they transport this blood towards heart. So first, deoxygenated blood comes towards heart. First, it comes into right chamber. Then it goes into right lower chamber. First, right upper chamber, that is right atrium. Then right atrium, from right atrium, it goes to the right ventricle. And from right ventricle, it gets transported to the lungs through pulmonary artery. So here, pulmonary artery is not carrying oxygenated blood, but it is carrying deoxygenated blood towards the lungs. And from lungs, oxygenated blood comes into left atrium, left upper chamber. And from left atrium, it goes into left ventricle. And from lungs to left atrium, which vein transports it? Pulmonary vein. So here, pulmonary vein contains oxygenated blood. So rule is opposite here. In all over the body, arteries carry oxygenated blood, but in heart, when heart transports this deoxygenated blood, pulmonary artery carries this deoxygenated blood towards the lungs, and lungs, they transport this oxygenated blood into left upper chamber of the heart. From left, it goes down to the left lower chamber, that is called as left ventricle. Left ventricular muscles are very strong and it contracts very strongly. And so that this blood goes into arch of aorta, largest artery of the body, and then it goes with that force of contraction. With that forceful contraction, this oxygenated blood goes into arch of aorta and then it gets supplied into each and every part of our body. So that's how it works. So there are 4 chambers. Now right atrium and right ventricle is separated by valves. There should be something in between them, otherwise blood will get mixed. And left and right part of heart also separated by septum. There is a thick septum in between 2 parts, right and left, and right upper chamber and right lower chamber is separated by valves, and those valves are called as tricuspid valves. They have 3 openings. So doors of valves, they get closed after passing blood from right atrium to right ventricle. And from on left side, there are valves, but 2 bicuspid. That is called as valves with 2 doors, bicuspid valves. So tricuspid on right side, bicuspid on left side. Now it is clear heart where it is located. Anatomy in short, 4 chambers, upper and lower. Right and left side is separated by septum. Right atrium and right ventricle separated by tricuspid valve. Left atrium and left ventricle separated by bicuspid valve. Then superior and inferior vena cava. This blue colored vein you can see. This vein drains blood from upper and lower side of the body, deoxygenated blood into this right atrium. And arch of aorta supplies, from arch of aorta, blood gets supplied, or with the force of left ventricular contraction, it gets spread all over the body. So this vena cava, upper and lower, blue colored vein, you can see, name is not written here, but yeah, blue colored vein, superior and inferior vena cava, and this is arch of aorta. There is one more diagram I will show you.
Ma'am, I just had a question here.
Yeah, Divya.
When doctors put stents in the body, is the same it is part of the same valve, na? Tricuspid and bicuspid valve. Do they put it
there
there?
are prolapse. Sometimes the valve prolapse is there in some conditions. So it needs repair. So for that, they do sometimes. Yes.
Okay. Thank
I
you.
will also add the flow of the blood is toward downwards, bicuspid and tricuspid valve. It doesn't move upwards. To move the functioning level of the bicuspid valve, a stent is put. Please correct me, doctor, if I am wrong.
Yeah, sir. Right.
Then, secondly, one more important thing is veins carry impure blood. Always remember, superior vena cava, superior from the upper part of the body, inferior vena cava from the lower part of the body carry impure blood, which is poured into the right atrium, to the right ventricle. Now, right ventricle say it goes to the lungs for purification, and that is carried by pulmonary artery. Remember that pulmonary artery carries the deoxygenated blood and brings back after the exchange of gases and the blood purification. The purified blood is brought through the pulmonary veins. Don't mistake mat karo. Don't make pulmonary artery, because this question is very often asked in MCQ. Okay, pulmonary, they make you confused. Because
I think that part is clear to both of them.
students are under the impression.
Mentioned.
Students are under the impression that veins carry impure blood and artery carries pure blood, but it is not so in this case. It's a contra. Yeah, carry on, madam.
Okay. So here you can see aortic notch and superior vena cava, inferior vena cava, aortic notch and aortic arch, and from that blood is getting circulated upper and lower part of the body. And this is descending aorta. So this diagram is also there. So I'm sending you all the PPTs. There are 2-3 diagrams, and you can see all structures are there of the heart and anatomy of heart. Now, right now we saw how blood is getting oxygenated and how this circulation is happening. So it is called as pulmonary circulation. Here you can see there are two divisions of circulation. Can you see? Is it clear? Okay. So divisions of circulation. So systemic circulation and pulmonary circulation. Systemic circulation is greater circulation, pumps blood from the left ventricle and passes through series of blood vessels. That oxygenated blood is getting passed into whole system. So that is called as systemic circulation. And what is pulmonary circulation? When deoxygenated blood is going through to the lungs, and lungs are sending oxygenated blood to the heart. So that part, only that part is called as heart to lung, lung to heart, lungs to heart. That is pulmonary circulation, right? So again, this one more diagram. You can see more how it is happening towards blue colored, that is deoxygenated blood, and red colored oxygenated blood from heart to lung, lungs to heart. One more diagram. Say. Now functions of how heart works. In short, we are going to understand how heartbeat and cardiac cycle. Now you know heartbeat, we use this word commonly, that my heart is beating so fast. Heartbeats are low, heartbeats are high. So what is this? What is heartbeat? That total mechanism we are going to understand in simple words. All the heart, so what we saw, heart, it is working by contraction. Cardiac muscle are specialized muscle because they forcefully contract. And by this force of contraction, only this pulmonary circulation and systemic circulation is happening, right? So that force of contraction is there. But what is responsible for that contraction? So there should be some force or some power that is responsible for that contraction, and what is generating that power? So electrical impulse is generating that power, and because of that the heart muscles are contracting. So that electrical impulse, from where it is originating, from where it is coming. So this wave of electrical excitation originates here. It is called as SA node, sinoatrial node. Specialized nervous, you know, nervous system works through this electrical impulse only. They pass all the signals through electrical impulse only. So that type of impulse originates in heart here in sinoatrial node, which is located in the right side of upper chamber, right-sided upper chamber. Then this, when we get done our ECG, electrocardiogram, what we see, how these electrical impulses are generating and how these electrical forces controlling that contraction relaxation of our cardiac muscles. So we are just finding out that when we get done our ECG. So this SA node, it generates that electrical impulse. It passes towards AV node, blue colored. Then this impulse gets spread in all over the heart muscles. In simple word, try to understand this concept. It's very simple because that forceful contraction needs some energy and force, and that energy and force is getting generated because of this electrical impulse. And origin where it is in right atrium, and it is called as, that point is called as SA node. And when it is not functioning properly, sometimes pacemaker, doctors install pacemaker from outside to generate that current. Some of heart patients, they need that pacemaker to generate that current. So that is the concept. Okay, it is clear now. So here the mechanism starts here. electric impulse generation, then muscle contraction, and then this movement of blood from this chamber to that chamber is possible. Otherwise, how it is going to work? That force, that energy, that contraction, if it is not there, then heart is not going to work properly and heartbeat is not going to generate because of that. Now, so what happens? How this blood from right atrium to right ventricle moves? For that, this contraction should be there. Now, electrical impulse by SA node, it is generating, it is proper contraction is happening, that is okay. But what happens in that whole phenomena? So, all the heart muscles do not contract at the same time. The auricles or atria, atriums means first chambers, upper chambers. So, both the auricles, right and left, contract first, forcing blood into ventricles. So right atrium and left ventricle at a time contract. So this, just imagine upper chamber, lower two chambers. So this is contracting. From right two chambers, blood is going into left lower chambers in 0.3 seconds. After that, electrical current generation. And then ventricles contract to push the blood into artery and vein. Left ventricle, from left ventricle to artery, arch of aorta, and from right ventricle to lungs in pulmonary vein. So, pulmonary artery, sorry. So, what happens? Simultaneously, it is happening. Upper two chambers are contracting and then lower two chambers are contracting. Upper two in 0.3 seconds, lower two in 0.5 seconds. So, in every 0.8 second, heart contracts. And impulse, where it is created in SA node. So, SA node is creating impulse and this is happening. And what happens? After contracting ventricles, the auricles relax. Upper chamber starts relaxing and then blood flows into them from pulmonary veins. So this is continuously happening. Understood? Upper two chambers, lower two chambers. 0.3, 0.5, 0.3, 0.5, 0.3, 0.5. So in every 0.8 seconds, heart is contracting. And this is referred as heartbeat. Lup, dup. Lup, dup. That is the sound. So this is referred as heartbeat. And the sequence of events takes place during one complete heartbeat. This and this is known as cardiac cycle. I know it is little bit difficult, but just try to understand. Upper two chambers, it's simple mathematics. 0.8 seconds. And whole phenomena is called as cardiac cycle. This is the whole sequence of all events happening. Again, this slide is for that only. In detail, I had put it in this slide. Afterwards, you can read. Now, so cardiac cycle. We saw what is beat, 0.3, 0.8, 0.3, 0.8. Cardiac cycle is defined as the succession of coordinated events taking place in the heart during each beat. Atria contraction, ventricle relaxation, ventricle contraction, atria relaxation. One cardiac cycle. Each heartbeat consists of two major periods called systole and diastole. Now, this contraction is called as systole and relaxation is called as diastole. When doctors check your blood pressure, they say that systolic is this, and diastolic is this. Systolic is upper limit, diastolic is lower limit. Okay. So when ventricles relax, diastole, systole, diastole, systole. During systole, the heart contracts and pumps the blood in through arteries. At the time of systole, ventricles, during systole, heart contracts and pumps the blood through arteries. So left ventricle is pumping blood through arteries. So we are measuring that systolic blood pressure. During diastole, the heart relaxes and blood is filled in the heart. During relaxation, atria pushing blood into ventricles, and that is relaxation. So what happens? Arterial systole and arterial diastole, ventricular systole and ventricular diastole. No need to memorize this. You should only know what is systole and diastole. Systole is contraction, diastole is relaxation. Just keep in mind. Systole is contraction, diastole is relaxation. And at that time, heart sounds are the sounds produced by mechanical activities of the heart during each cardiac cycle. So I had mentioned lub-dub heart sounds. When we use stethoscope to listen to the heart sounds, what we listen? Lub-dub. And while contraction and relaxation, the valves of the heart, tricuspids and bicuspid valves, they are closing and opening. So that sound we can listen. That is heart sound. Okay, this is for your information. No need to go in detail, right? So as I had mentioned, when we go to the doctor and doctor checks our blood pressure. So what he sees, what he measures, so systolic blood pressure and diastolic blood pressure. Systolic blood pressure is defined as maximum pressure exerted in the arteries during systole, that is contraction of the heart. Normal systolic blood pressure is 120 mm of Hg. We measure it against mercury. Mercury is Hg. So 120 mm of Hg. It varies from 110 to 140. It is normal. Then diastolic is defined as the minimum pressure exerted in the arteries during diastole, that is relaxation of the heart. Normal, that is lower limit blood pressure. So 80 mm of Hg, but 60 to 80 is normal. Right? It is clear. Now we saw heartbeat, we saw cardiac cycle. Now systole and diastole is, there is no confusion. Systole is contraction, diastole is relaxation. Systolic blood pressure is upper limit, diastolic is lower limit. Normal blood pressure 120 by 80 mm of Hg. Okay. Now cardiac output. Cardiac output is the volume of blood pumped by the heart by the left and right ventricle per unit time. It is simple maths. Actually, you can memorize it like this. Amount of blood that is given out from the left ventricle per minute, that is 5 liter. Per ventricle, from left ventricle per minute, sorry. Left ventricle per minute is giving out blood 5 liters. That is 5,000 milliliter. And number of heartbeats per minute, 72. Number of heartbeats per minute, 72. So cardiac output is 5,000 ml divided by 72. That is around 69.44 ml per beat. So what is cardiac output per beat? How much blood is going out per beat? How much amount of blood that is given out from left ventricle. Amount of blood that is given out from left ventricle. So how we are calculating it? Total per minute is from left ventricle. It is going 5 liter, that is 5,000 ml. I will send it to you afterwards. Here it is not written, but formula is written. Cardiac output is stroke volume multiplied by heart rate. And what is stroke volume that we will see? Stroke volume is the amount of blood pumped out by each ventricle during a heartbeat. So I just simplified that, and what I did, I just made division, but here another calculation is there. So just keep in mind, no one is going to ask you whole calculation or mathematics, just what is cardiac output. So cardiac output, it is around 69.44 ml per beat. That you should memorize. Now, heart rate. Heart rate is the number of heartbeats per unit of time. We measure heart rate. It's very simple. Heartbeat we measure. And 60 to 80 per minute. Normal heart rate, as I had mentioned, it is 72 beats per minute. 72. हार्ट कितने बार धक धक करता है एक मिनट में? 72 beats per minute, and it ranges between 60 to 80 beats per minute. Now, tachycardia is the term used for increased heart rate above 100 per minute. Bradycardia is decreased heart rate below 60 per minute. It is also called as pulse rate. Left radial artery, where the doctors check pulse. Do you know? This thumb and base of the thumb. There we can feel the pulsation. So doctors count there and they say that your pulse is 70 per minute, 72 per minute, 60 per minute. And if it is running fast, then it is called as tachycardia. If it is slow, less than 60, it is bradycardia. Then it is related with pumping of heart. Heart is not pumping properly, or it is pumping very fast, or contraction of ventricles happening very fast or very low. On that, it depends. Okay, so this is about circulation, components of circulatory system. Last component is lymphatic, lymph or lymphatic system. Lymph is colorless liquid. It is byproduct of plasma passing nourishment to capillaries and cells. So lymphatic system is also very important in immunity, related with immunity, immune response, and lymph nodes. This is also very common term nowadays. Whenever infection, throat infection, and cough, cold is there, we can see, or tonsillitis. Tonsils are also lymph organs. Okay, so lymph is a colorless fluid, byproduct of plasma passing nourishment to capillaries and cells. The lymphatic system is a system of specialized vessels and organs whose main function is to return the lymph from the tissues to the bloodstream. So sometimes veins, their lumen or diameter is not that big, and some waste material from tissue or extracellular fluid that veins cannot carry towards the heart. So lymphatic vessels, they carry that waste material and they drain it into major veins so that veins can drain it into heart. So like that, it is backup system. So lymphatic drainage, you must have heard this word in yoga also. Nowadays, lymphatic system related asanas are very much famous to improve your lymphatic function or to drain lymph properly. So why it is famous nowadays? Because this circulation, lymphatic circulation, happens properly when muscle movements are there, or our activities are more, or we are practicing asanas. At that time, some muscle contractions or some movements, specific movements we are doing, or inverted asanas, against gravity we are performing some asanas. So that kind of asanas, they because of we are doing inverted. We are lifting our legs up against gravity. So it is very much easy for our lymphatic system to drain all the toxic material in the system, from the system towards the veins to carry it towards the heart. The lymphatic system is considered a part of both the circulatory and immune system. The functions of the lymphatic system complement the bloodstream functions as it regulates the balance of fluids in the body and filters the pathogens from the blood. As I had mentioned, big size pathogens, veins cannot drain, so lymph can carry this. Lymphatic organs primary are bone marrow and thymus, and secondary organs are spleen, lymph nodes, tonsils, and adenoids. So primary organs are bone marrow and thymus gland, and secondary are spleen, lymph nodes, tonsils, and adenoids. Spleen also, we all know, whenever we get viral or bacterial infection, there is spleen enlargement. Splenomegaly happens. And doctors check when they palpate our abdominal area. They say that spleen is enlarged. Not now, but in old medical system, doctors, they were not using this blood investigations, but they were using this method of examination, palpitation and spleen enlargement, and they used to then diagnose with viral or bacterial infection. So lymphatic system is related with immunity also, and it is related with circulatory system also, right? Any questions till now? I think I had covered all the points.
Ma'am, I just had one question. Do we have
Yeah.
to see the functions of
One
these
minute, 1
organs
minute.
also?
1 minute. And stop the recording. Madam, can I stop the recording?
Yeah.